All right, so we are going to build a 6-foot raised planter. So first thing we got to do, we're going to get 17 cedar boards. So let me grab those. All right, here's 17 boards. This is kind of how they come. You see them, they're very textured. I don't know how to show that best. There we go. Very textured. So we're going to run these through a planer. We got this nice new DeWalt planer, so we're going to give that a shot today. So we got to run these through, and I plane these down on both sides, get them nice and flat and straight, get them smooth. And you see that grain will pop out really awesome. And we'll plane these down to just over ½ inch thick. All right, so that was incredibly faster than it has been in the past. So now all the boards are the same thickness. They are nice and smooth, and we're getting ready. Now here's what I was talking about. So you see this grain on here. I mean, smooth. So you got sheen to it. Beautiful, beautiful, smooth finish. Now we start cutting to length. All right, now for cutting to length. Something I do for all my projects, I want everything to be repeatable. I want it to be easy to where I can knock these out. I can get proficient at doing that. So I utilize a free website. It is called opticutter.com. So you punch in the dimensions of your stock. Say these are 5.5 by 6 feet, 3/4 inch thickness. So you just punch that in as your stock, and then you punch in your design pieces, how many long pieces you need, how many leg pieces, everything you need. And it's going to tell you how many of each board to cut and what to cut out of that board in the most optimized way. So I'm not wasting wood, I'm not wasting money, and I can get these done at a price that's the best price for the end user. So highly recommend these for cut listing. I have a little clipboard, and all my projects that I do all come through here. They all go to cut list. It does sheet goods, it does whatever type of wood you want to do. So highly recommend that. So I'm going to take my list. I'm going to start cutting off of this. All right, so we got them all cut to length. Bunch of 30-inch. These are going to be the legs. Got some supports, some cross supports. They're going to get ripped down as well. So I always make templates, even if it's just a piece of wood as a marker. Every time you can stop pulling out the tape measure, you save time and money. And I can't wait to update the miter station setup here next week. We'll do a video on that. You saw me fighting that. That's probably the most dangerous miter saw on planet Earth right now. The bearings are shot, the slide won't move. So I gotta push it and shake it and twist it and all these things you're not supposed to do with a saw. So lots of fun. Still got them all. Hopefully we can make it until the miter saw upgrade gets in here. So as you see here, it's a 2.5 inch. This is going to be my table legs, and this is also the spacer for the trim on the top. So I just set this in here on my table saw. It does 2 functions. So it'll set my offset of my guide bar here, and it'll also set the height of my blade, because I got this material. So I have to keep just past the carbide tips coming out. So it gets a nice clean cut, and then I'm gonna put this away. and always write all over them so I don't throw them away. So let's cut these up. So got all our pieces cut except for our trim, which we'll do the 45s on that to get our miters once we're all built, because that's easier to just mark than it is to measure. We've got our 4 sets of legs. These are going to assemble. One piece is about a 1/2 inch longer than the other, and that's because these are going to overlap. And then I get same size leg on both sides. So that's how that works. And these will get glued and tack nailed together. So we got those 4 sets. We got our 2 just for the center legs. They're just flat, so they don't get glued. Then we got our short end, and 2 long sides. I'll have 3 each. We got our bottom supports for the long, our bottom supports for the short sides, our bottom supports for the bed. These will get spaced about 3/4 of an inch apart. Let water drain down through there. And then we got our pieces up here. These are for our trim along the top. So, assembly, same thing. Real simple. Piece of 2x4 says towards me. It's got arrows pointing up. This is my planter leg jig. So, I take my short piece and put it here. And I take my long piece and I set it right on top. That lets me hold that tight. I can glue it, nail it, and that leg's ready to go. So, I'm going to clamp this thing down to my assembly table here, and then we're going to glue and nail our legs and get those drying so we can start assembly on the rest of it. So now we're going to start assembly. So we got our legs on each end, center leg, and then we just start gluing and nailing. For these I'm using, I can't remember, 3/4 inch 18 gauge brads, and exterior tight bond 3. So let me get this done. So we've got the box assembly done. So I got it upside down on the workbench right now. So I got another set of jigs. These are basically just 2x4s cut to the height of where I want my support on the inside. This is going to hold the floor into the planter. That's basically what this is doing. So I just stand those up here. Take a piece of ripped down 2x4. Basically, there's a 2x4 ripped down the middle. We're going to put the cut side facing the floor, just so our boards lay flat on it. So, glue time. Alright. So now we take this, glue side to the wood, and then it sits right on there. So I can come through with my clamps. Just lock those in. Do one on each end, and then work my way down. Yeah, I'm gonna turn these all around. Anyhow, all right, let's just toast the other side. It's going in like this, and we'll do the same thing. All right, so got the bottoms all glued in. Everything's clamped down, nailed down, and drying right now. I did put just a temporary spacer in here. This is an 11-inch spacer just to pull that center nice and straight so it doesn't bow out while I'm putting the trim on. Just got to leave enough room in there to slide this in and get my trim on. So got space in there for that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these on, and then I'll mark the end pieces, cut those, and put them on. And then all that is left is just putting the liner in. So let's get to it. All right, so we were out in the garden for a little bit and got back in here. So as you just saw, we finished out the sanding, plugged all the nail holes, did all the sanding for the putty, for the wood, and then we lined it with the landscape fabric inside. So final step is doing the tongue oil treatment. So we're gonna let this soak in real good and deep, and then cure for 24 hours, and this thing is good to go. So hope you enjoyed so far. I'm gonna knock out the tongue oil, and then we're going to be done with this. So there it is, all finished. Just gonna let this dry off. Let all that oil polymerize. And it's all lined and ready to go. That's the process. I'll share the cut list, material list in the description with this video so you can see it. And if you want to make one yourself.